You did it again.
Heather.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, how's everybody doing tonight?
Yes, happy Wednesday, happy Facebook Live. We weren't here last week and we have missed you guys. It's August 26th already, if you can believe
indeed.
it.
That's right. Yes, we took a nice vacation last week. We were completely unplugged. Did a lot of hiking and biking. Feel recharged, refreshed. I'm a little sunburned.
I'm not. That's because I wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we are here again to, number one, answer your questions, right? That's what we're here for. And we hope that you put the questions in the comments and let us help you out with free answers to your free questions.
Right.
All the questions are always free, but these are actually free answers.
So we do this every Wednesday night from 6 to 7, and we try to get information out so that everybody stays current on what's going on with immigration law, sometimes other current events like the COVID situation, schools, whatever. But the main thing is to try to keep you up to date on immigration law and what's going on, and also to answer your questions. So any questions that you have, please post them up and we will answer them. And if we can't get a correct answer or don't have enough information to fully answer, we will get more information and get back to you. Okay?
Oh, it's our old roomie, Isabel. Hi, Isabel. How are you doing? Great to see you.
Yes, thank you for joining us tonight. So, okay, well, here's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yeah, what are we going to be talking about tonight?
We have a structure here that we follow every week. We are going to be talking about state court updates. That's going to be me. And then Radlyn's going to give you some USCIS updates. And then I'm going to bring you up to date on DACA as well as the Virginia Driver Privilege Card program that I've been talking about. And of course, any immigration questions that you have, post them up and Radlyn will answer them.
John might answer them too.
I might.
So
but
yeah,
I'm not as good at that.
I'm monitoring the questions
That's
on
right.
the Facebook Live. That's me looking down. And I just want to, for those of you who have not yet taken a vacation, whether it's a staycation or a real vacation like we did, we actually boarded an airplane and went to a different state, went to the beautiful state of Colorado.
Great state, very beautiful.
We highly recommend it. It was really nice to just get away and, as John said, recharge the batteries and unplug and just be with the family and really just refresh ourselves. And here we are.
Hopefully it was really nice too. We got to see some old friends, both in Denver and in Colorado Springs. And it was really, really nice to reconnect with some old friends out there.
And we missed our friends in Boulder, but we're going to check them out next time. So if we have any Colorado peeps, give us a thumbs up. Our daughter, Mia, who's about to turn 17 on Monday, we all toured University of Colorado at Boulder, and she fell in love with the place. It's a little bit too far from mom, but it's ultimately her choice. So if we have any Colorado people out there, give us a thumbs up and give us some tips also, right? If our daughter ends up going there. But Colorado for us is really home away from home.
Yep, we may be visiting there more and more often if that's where she ends up choosing to go to school.
Yes.
And also, even though we are lawyers, immigration lawyers specifically, we also have lawyers that help us with our own business transactions and also give us advice about certain things. And one of the things that our lawyers always tell us to say on this Facebook Live is that this is not legal advice. It is legal information. We are answering questions. We are passing along information. We're analyzing things. We do it every week. But just to be clear, it is not legal advice. So if you have a legal question and you want to be able to really rely on it as a client, then make sure to reach out to us and become a client, okay?
Yeah, that would be awesome. We
Absolutely.
would love to have you all as clients.
Yes.
If we can help you, of course. All right, so thanks for the tip from our lawyer.
Yeah.
See, we listen to our lawyer.
Absolutely.
We listen to our lawyer.
He tells us what to do and we do it. Absolutely.
And before John gets into it, see, there's all this before build up, so you guys are staying on, and we're actually just allowing people to jump on as well and say hi. But I do want to do a quick brag session. We had our latest Google review, and it was specifically for Sarah, and the reviewer said Sarah K.F. Lawler is the best attorney I have come across. Wow. Kudos to Sarah. That's awesome.
She is a great lawyer. There's
She is. She's
no
fantastic.
question about that.
Absolutely. We can't really take that much credit for Sarah. She's very, very talented. The only credit John and I can take is that we hired her, right?
That's
and
right.
Let's give ourselves a high five for that.
We-
We like to celebrate
That's right.
everything. Oh, and it's Chris.
We were
Yes.
just talking about our good friends
Yeah.
in Colorado Springs, and they're joining us. Good to see you, buddy.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for your hospitality. And
Thanks again.
we caught up with these guys after not seeing them for 11 years.
11 years.
And it was just like
Great dinner, great company, beautiful house, great view,
lots of laughs.
Pikes Peak in the distance. It was awesome.
know. It
Totally
was.
awesome.
My cousin, hello cuz, how's it going? Finally, one of my family members has come on to say hello. Well, Isabella's always coming on. Appreciate that. Okay, so Sarah K.F. Lawler is the best attorney I've come across. My journey to citizenship was so smooth, and it is because of Sarah. I thank her very much for being there. Overall, Gardner & Mendoza Law Firm provides excellent service, says Suda on Google. So thank you so much for that wonderful review. I love to hear when people talk about our team at Gardner & Mendoza.
Yeah.
It just makes me happy. It makes me
happy
feel
too.
like we're leading in the right way, but they're also just amazing people that we have on our team.
I mean, even getting a compliment is great. When it's a personal compliment, it's even better when it's somebody else in our team.
Oh wow, I've got a lot of family members on
Some
here.
people joining.
Yeah,
Look at those.
cousin Bebung's on, and my cousin says give a shout out to Tita Milligring. That's my aunt, my dad's sister. She's amazing. She is the nicest of all the aunts, I think. That's by a vote. I think everybody has voted that. I'm not saying that myself. I'm just saying all the nieces and nephews have voted, and it's Tita Milligring.
I learned many things from my father, and one of them was in
Okay,
situations like
I should-
this, I'm not getting involved.
I should not have said that. Sorry.
Not a word from me.
It's Tita Ditche for sure.
I love all the teachers.
She's
They're
the
all-
sweetest.
They're all wonderful. Every single one of them is amazing.
You're such a diplomat.
And
All
they've
right,
been so sweet to me.
state court updates.
State court updates. Okay, not much here. The state court update thing started when we first started doing these because there was a lot of weird stuff going on. But what's happened over time is now that everything is starting to reopen, I would tell you the state court update has turned into sort of a weekly reminder that everything's pretty much back to normal. Okay, the courts are open. If you've got a case, make sure that you're there because COVID is not really working that great as an excuse anymore. Like, oh, I didn't go to court because the coronavirus. That's old news in terms of the courthouse. Okay, make sure you bring a mask. You will need a mask to get in. You'll be asked a few questions. If you've traveled internationally or domestically in the last couple of weeks and where did you go, they might ask you if you have any symptoms. A few of the courthouses are taking temperatures. Not all of them. Virginia Beach is not. Newport News was. So it just depends. So just be prepared for that. The main thing is to make sure you bring a mask because you will need a mask to get in. All right. So that's the state court update. Everything's pretty much back to normal.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. I'm happy to report that.
Absolutely. And we do have a question here. Lachelle says, and thanks for joining, Lachelle, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It says, is it possible for my mom, 65 years old, and son, 15 years old, to get visa interview at the same time? Their case is in U.S. Embassy Manila now, still waiting for the interview. So if they are on the same, as far as time frame is concerned, then you probably will be able to schedule that by simply emailing the U.S. Embassy in Manila. And they've been pretty responsive lately, the embassy. It really, again, it just depends. You've got mom and then your son, if you petition both of them as a U.S. citizen, and again, they're on the same trajectory as far as time frame is concerned, then you should be able to get them interviewed together. So hopefully that helps. I would just recommend shooting them an email And I will post up the email a little bit later into the comments in reply to your question, Lachelle. So hopefully that answers your question. If it didn't, just shoot us another comment, and I'll try to be a little bit more clear. But that's a great question, and those things can be coordinated, right?
Okay, so moving on, why don't we get to the USCIS updates? What's going on?
Yes, so I always do a lot of recap with USCIS. Okay, Lachelle says I answered the question. Awesome, great. I like it when I answer the question the first time. It's okay if I take a couple of shots at it, but it feels good to get the...
To nail it the first time?
Yeah, it does,
okay.
Right? So I like to do a recap of what we've covered before, just because there's so many updates, and I know that some of you all are coming on. You may not have had the opportunity to come on previously. So just a couple of important updates for USCIS, and then we'll get into the new stuff of this week. As many of you who are following immigration, and if you're on here watching, you probably are, the filing fees are set to increase on October 2nd of 2020, and that's going to be a weighted average increase of 20%. But be mindful that filing for something like the N-400, which is your application for naturalization, your application to become a U.S. citizen, that's going to increase by 83%. So across the board, there's a weighted average of only 20%. But when you look at things like the N-400, or you look at a marriage adjustment case or a family adjustment case, those are increasing a lot more than just 20%. So 83% is going to go up from $640 to $1,170 for a paper filing. So if you've been procrastinating about applying for citizenship, and I know there are people out there who are not applying for citizenship for a very good reason, but most of the people out there are applying because they are procrastinating. And I get it. I totally understand. But now is definitely the time. And I talked to one of my friends over the past weekend, and he's also been procrastinating. He's ready to do it because he doesn't want to pay 83% more than on October 2nd and beyond. So please file your case before October 2nd, 2020. And if you need any help, of course, let us know about that. This may seem confusing based on the update that John's going to give a little bit later about DACA, but we are reviewing and accepting new cases for brand new DACA applications. And the reason that our law firm is doing that right now is because there's so much information that an applicant has to collect in order to prove their eligibility for DACA. Yeah. So we are accepting new consultations for those who are interested in filing for a brand new application for DACA whenever it is that they open that up. And I mean, I think it should be open now, but it's not. But it's a lot of information, it's a lot of documentation, and once they do open it back up, you don't really want to be on the tail end of it. You want to just be ready to go. It doesn't hurt anything. So
yeah, just if I could interrupt for a second, I am going to give a brief update later about DACA, and I say brief because I'm going to really hit the highlights. There's just a lot of really hyper technical information right now and stuff all over the place with this, and so I'm going to go through the main points, but we want to emphasize that if you think that you're eligible or you're not sure if you're eligible, you should definitely give us a call and pursue this right now, because this is a very fluid situation. And for now, we think full steam ahead is the best thing for you to be doing right now, regardless of all the shifting sand that we're getting from Department of Homeland Security on this.
Right. It's best to be prepared, and it doesn't cost that much to have a consultation with our attorneys just to make sure that, am I eligible? Am I not eligible? Am I doing something that's going to put my immigration status, current status quo, in danger? So these are really important questions that we can only answer if we have a complete evaluation of the case. So the other update, which I've been saying for 4 months now, is that if you have received a request for evidence from Immigration Service, a request for evidence, a notice of intent to deny, anything where they're asking you for more information and there's a deadline, and you receive that notification between March 1st and September 11th of next month, 2020, then you have an additional 60 days to answer that inquiry from Immigration Service. So that's hugely helpful. As I've mentioned before, it's been helpful for us because sometimes our clients are not able to get the documentation, especially during COVID-19. Still, things are closed, to have that additional 60 days. And this brings me to another frequently asked question that we have had and that was sent in, and that is, I'm ready to file my marriage adjustment case. And so this is a person who's got married to a U.S. citizen. They're filing the I-130, the I-130A, the green card application, the affidavit of support, now the 944 again, the employment authorization document, all the things that go along with that. And one of the questions that we get is, I don't have everything right now. I have some of the things that are required in order to do a filing. Can we just go ahead and file with just the things that we have? And our answer 9.5 times out of 10 is going to be no. And the reason is because once we file something and say somebody's waiting on, the second or the third divorce decree, right? Not the most recent divorce decree, but one from 1995 or something. And they want to file it without, okay? They want to file we've got the most recent divorce decree. Can we just wait on this one? This one's old, and obviously I have had another divorce since then, so it's out there somewhere. I just can't put my finger on it now. We always say no, and the reason is because once USCIS realizes there's that documentation that is missing, then they're going to send a request for evidence, and we're only going to have 87 days to answer that. So that's the max amount of time. So 87 days, that's what, almost 3 months. And it seems kind of like a lot of time, but it's not.
I didn't know what you were asking. I'm sorry. I was like, is 87? I don't know.
87 days. It's almost 3 months.
It's an odd number. Is it not an even number?
It's an odd number. It's an odd number. It's less than 90. So you've got to be ready to hit the ground running when you do that filing, because if we don't answer in that amount of time, then you will, they can deny the case, and then you'll lose your filing fee, the time, and everything. So even though we do have some additional time to answer, anything that we file now, which is, August 26th, we're not going to get a request for evidence back before September 11th. And so it will fall outside of that additional 60 days on top of the 87 to respond. So hopefully that's clear. Just, you got to have a complete filing. We are not typically going to file something that is not complete. And, sometimes our clients are a little bit agitated about that because they want to file. Sometimes a person may be out of status, or for whatever reason, they're just trying to get it done. We just want to make sure that we don't put you in jeopardy of having your case denied later because we don't have enough time to come up with that document. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it's do it once, do it right, and don't have to do it again or supplement it.
What is the Carpenter mantra?
Measure twice, cut once.
Measure twice, cut once, right? Yeah. I get that messed up sometimes. Measure once, cut twice. That's not the right.
We want to file once and do it correctly the first time with everything that's needed so that it's a done deal.
Absolutely. So I also, again, wanted to throw out the 1-800 number to check on your court date. If you are in immigration court proceedings, that's 1-800-898-7180. And what you'll do is you'll follow the prompts, put in your A number, and it will spit out when your next court date is. So an example, we recently got, one of our clients got a notice to appear in immigration court. The immigration court date was this month, but we knew that it could not be this month. We know about the backlogs of court. So it was just kind of a placeholder date that USCIS put on the notice to appear. We called the 1-800 number, just like we're instructing you guys to do if you're confused about when your court date is, 1-800-898-7180. I sound like an infomercial, but it's not for my services. It's to find out when your court date is. And we call the number, and in fact, the court date is not this month. We knew that anyway, but it's going to be 3 years from today, or from this month. So immigration court taking a really long time right now. Don't be surprised if you had a court date, the case gets continued for COVID reasons, but also just because everything is just completely backlogged. Even pre-COVID, things, our court dates got continued all the time to a different date. So call that number if you have any questions. And of course, if you have an immigration lawyer, you want to confirm with your immigration attorney, your lawyer should be able to tell you when your court date is, because they have this 1-800 number too. And if they don't, give me a call. All right, so really quickly with the new updates, good news. The furlough of 70% of USCIS employees has been halted. It's been averted. So that's great news. That's great news for the employees who were facing that uncertainty, especially in this economy. And I'm happy for the people that are employees of USCIS. I'm happy for our clients because that means that the cases are going to continue to move forward. There is bad news though, and that is that the service, USCIS, contracts with a lot of different vendors who provide assistance to the officers. They provide assistance, during the when you call the 1-800 number and ask about questions for your case. And a lot of those vendors are going to be cut. So the message from USCIS is that even though the furloughs are not happening, these sort of I don't want to call them side contracts, side gigs, but the support staff that are typically contracted out through government contract, they're going to be cut drastically. And the message is, and this is a quote from the USCIS website, anticipated operational impacts include increased wait times for pending case inquiries with the USCIS contact center. So that's when we all have to call the 1-800 number and wait 45 minutes. Maybe that'll be longer now. Longer case processing times and increased adjudication time for aliens adjusting status or naturalizing. So it's right there. It's right there on the USCIS website. It kind of gives me a little bit of acid in my stomach, as our fellow immigration Drew used to say. I've got acid in my stomach because of this. And the reason is because we're already seeing pretty long wait times. And even though the furloughs didn't happen and they were averted, we still may see some significant delay. So if you are our client, or if you've got a case pending with another attorney or just self-filing, just please be aware that this is just something that's going to happen, and things are just going to slow down even though the furloughs are not happening, which is good news again. But there's just a little bit of bad news mixed in with that. Okay, so the next update, and I have been talking a lot.
You want me to move on to DACA now?
Yeah, why don't you move on to DACA, and then I'll jump into this public charge rule.
Sure.
And for those of you guys just joining, I'm Radlyn Mendoza, and this is my law partner and husband, John Gardner, and we're with Gardner Mendoza, which is it's our last names together.
That's right.
Pretty cool. And we're an immigration law firm in Virginia Beach. We serve clients all over the world, but we like to give these weekly updates. And if you have a question, please put them in the comments and we will answer them. If you don't feel comfortable putting the the question in the comment, feel free to call us and make an appointment with us so we can discuss your case. But this is the time to get some of those nagging questions that you might have about your case answered. We're here. We're happy to do it. It's it's just something that we like to do for the community. So write your questions in.
Okay. So
all right.
Rather than moving, I'll pick it up for a little bit here. Talk a little bit about DACA. This is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. For those of you who are not familiar with what that is, DACA. These are folks that are brought into the United States when they're children, and so they kind of they don't have any control over where they're located, and so we have provisions for them that are unique to them, right? There's a lot of documentation that has to get together, as we talked about earlier, to prove one of these cases and to file it, but it's a wonderful program. But It's been shifting around. There's been a lot of litigation surrounding this issue lately. There are a lot of unanswered questions right now. I don't know if any of you are watching the political conventions. If you are, then you saw Chad Wolf last night, who's the acting director of Department of Homeland Security, do an oath ceremony with 5 new naturalized citizens. It was pretty cool. But he had his memo from his office issuing guidance on August 20th, 2020 regarding DACA. And I want to hit some of the main points here. And again, if you fall into this category or you know somebody, please give us a call, because it is complicated and there's a lot of stuff to put together. But for those of you who know what this is about, I'm talking to you right now because you'll understand what this all is meaning. But basically the new memo said the DACA grants will be limited to 1 year. There was a previous 2-year grants will remain, that's what it was before, and those will remain valid, but the grants now will be limited to 1 year. All requests for DACA and associated employment authorization granted after July 28th, 2020 will be for a validity period of 1 year. The fees will remain the same, all right? However, previous 2-year grants of DACA will remain valid. Additionally, 2-year DACA recipients who apply for a replacement employment authorization document due to loss, theft, or mutilation of their prior EAD will receive a replacement EAD with the same expiration date based on the original 2-year validity period, all right? And I apologize that I'm reading, but this is dense and I just want to make sure that all the words are correct here, all right? Secondly, new initial DACA applications will be rejected. This is the one that's harsh and perplexing to immigration lawyers, because the litigation surrounding this issue would tend to not support this position. And so it's odd, but it is what it is. It's what they're saying, and I'm sure it'll continue to be litigated more, and the courts will weigh in on and on. I always say this, but it's an election year, and I always feel like policy gets funky around elections because you never know what the motivation is for things. But in any event, USCIS will reject and return the fees for any initial DACA application submitted by people who have never received a grant of DACA. Now, you might hear that and think, okay, well, why, when you guys signed on, did you say to give us a call and still move forward? Because this is a shifting, fluid situation, and there's a lot to do. So I wouldn't hear that and say, oh, well, you know, Chad Wolf said that they're not going to take new applications, so forget it. I'm just going to not apply for DACA. I'm going to let it go. Bad move. Push forward. Contact us as if it's going to change, because it probably will. Okay? And also, like Radlyn said, you know, you have time to get all your stuff together, and when it does change, you'll be ready to roll.
Right. You need to show that you've been in the United States for 13 years.
Right.
So if you're going, well, I have my bank account from last year and that's all I have, we can help you uncover other documents that we have, as we've had for many of our other clients. So,
all right. The memo also said that initial applications filed by people whose DACA expired over 1 year ago will be accepted. USCIS will accept initial applications filed by people whose DACA requests would be rejected. The USCIS guidance specifically stated that, given the acting secretary's desire to maintain the status quo of the past few years, USCIS will continue to accept and adjudicate such requests, notwithstanding any language in the Wolf Memorandum about rejecting all requests for initial DACA. So they say they're going to reject initial applications. Oh, but by the way, if you had it, it expired, and it was over a year ago that it expired, and you're filing, that's not really going to be treated like an initial application. Okay?
Right. So if you let it lapse, in other words, then you can still file renewal.
USCIS will continue to adjudicate DACA renewal applications, including applications filed by people whose DACA expired less than a year prior to the filing for renewal. Okay? So this is really important. If you have DACA, the renewal process is still going forward. So don't get scared and decide not to renew. You still need to go ahead and renew. if you have a renewal coming up, but maybe you have something else going on in your life, like a criminal charge that hasn't been resolved, it may be better for you to let it lapse, the DACA, so that you can get the criminal case finished and resolved one way or the other, no matter what happens in that case, and then go ahead and file for your renewal of DACA. And you can do that. Even though it expired, you'll still be able to file the renewal, all right? And that might be better, and it's obviously case by case. We would have to analyze it on each case, but that may be a better situation than filing a renewal while you have a criminal case that is still pending, only to have it come back because you have this charge that's not been resolved yet.
Right, right. And as John said, case by case basis, we talked about this before we went on vacation 2 weeks ago. Definitely case by case basis, let someone who is a criminal defense attorney with immigration component take a look at your case. Oh, that happens to be you.
That is.
How convenient.
Yes.
And there really not a lot of people like John who can do that. But so giving a plug to my law partner and it's my spouse, of course. But so it's so important if there's a criminal aspect to it. And again, these are not crimes of the century. They're not even crimes of the day. No. These are small things that are big things sometimes for DACA. So or any non-U.S. citizen. Right. Whether you're a lawful permanent resident, whether you're a student, whether you're H-1B, whatever it is, those types of things that you have to really be careful about.
And this is something we've talked about. I'm not going to go down this road because it's a very long, intense road. But the bottom line is, if you are not a United States citizen and you have a criminal charge of any kind, you really should consult with an attorney who understands what the immigration consequences may be for that criminal charge, okay?
Right, even if it's traffic.
Even if it's a minor
reckless driving in Virginia is a class 1 misdemeanor.
That is true. A DUI, for example, is a DACA problem right there. That's an example, okay? Getting back to the Wolf memo, the USCIS guidance stated that the agency will begin rejecting DACA renewal requests received more than 150 days prior to the expiration of the recipient's current DACA validity. So what they're telling you here is to not submit your renewal too early. Okay.
Right.
Is there anything you want to add to that?
Don't submit it too early and don't submit it too late.
Yeah,
just right. The
timing counts here. And again, if you have a criminal charge pending, hopefully most of you don't, but we do certainly have folks who do have a criminal charge pending. And like Radlyn said, it's usually not a huge case. The criminal charge itself is minor. It's not going to cause a problem. The person is likely not going to go to jail. They're going to not even have suspended jail. They're probably just going to have a fine, okay? The kind of case that maybe you could just go and do and not worry about it at all, except that if you're a non-U.S. citizen, you may have this horrible thing, immigration-wise, that's waiting down the road for you that you don't realize. You're stepping right into a trap and you don't know it, okay? And you do not want that to happen, all right?
So before you move on to the next couple of points, I just want to read a comment by BJ. How's it going, BJ? Thank you so much again for joining us. He is one of our weekly viewers, and we really appreciate it. I always like seeing your name pop up. He's just saying hi from SoCal. His 485, my 485 is finally ready to schedule for an interview. Got my biometrics taken early this month. Hoping to get, and that was something that BJ was worried about over the past couple months. Is when am I going to get my biometrics? When am I going to get my biometrics? Hoping to get my EAD approved soon. The wait's been a killer. Had to stop going to work. I only filed this April though. So BJ is an applicant who filed in April, May, June, July, August, and he's probably going to wait like a month or two for his interview. But he's talking about the wait being a killer, and this is normal waiting period times. I mean, this is short, in the scheme of a marriage adjustments, which I think this is what this is, if my memory serves me correctly. So those are only going to get lengthier. Just embrace, guys, embrace. And I like to say that when we talk to new clients and potential new clients, that it's a good fit. It's a good fit for the client. It's a good fit for the law firm, because we're going to be in just this amazing relationship together for sometimes years, you know? And a lot of our clients will hire us to get the initial green card, the 2-year green card. We'll continue with getting those conditions removed from the 2-year green card for the 10-year card, filing for U.S. citizenship, and then once they get their citizenship, filing for their family members. So it's just an amazing relationship, but it's got to be right. You know, you have to make sure that attorney and that law firm is right for you and a good fit for you, because it's a long journey, and it's, you know, obviously a really important one. But so BJ, I appreciate you letting us know that you think that it's been a killer. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully I'm wrong about this, but I think it's just going to be longer. And BJ he's in a normal processing time situation.
Yeah, so. It takes patience, a lot of meticulous work, hard work. And you know, when you get to that very end, and you know, I mentioned the naturalization ceremony at the White House last night. Just know, if you Google that and watch it, I mean, that's a long road to get to that spot. It's really impressive, and I have so much respect for those people. I really do. Anyone who does that, I just have enormous respect. It's awesome, and I'm glad that we can be a part of it. All right. Anyway, did we finish there?
Yeah, yes. I just wanted to, because he gave us a shout out and said hello, and he's ready to go back to work.
Yeah, well, that's right. He's still got some work day left because he's in West Coast, 3 hours behind us.
I don't know. Oh yeah. That's right. Okay.
So a couple more points, and then we're going to move on to public charge information. Advanced parole based on DACA will only be granted in exceptional circumstances, and I'm not going to go into all those.
Yeah,
just to know that that's the situation right now, according to this memo.
Yeah, and I just want to say that previously they were just giving advanced parole to DACA applicants, pretty much, if you could show some reason you were going. So the sick abuela is just not going to cut it anymore. Right. I mean, this is exceptional circumstances, and one of the things is, you know, if you need to support the safety, well-being, or care of an immediate relative, particularly minor children and alien, supporting military interests and national security. So all the things that you may have heard that would get you advanced parole before, it's not going to work this go round. So that's something to point out.
Yeah, and finally, like we said, everything has been shifting so much. They also said in this memo that pending advanced parole applications will be rejected. However, applicants can refile under the new guidance that they will reject and return the fees for all Form I-131 applications that have been held since July 24th, 2020. So it's fluid right now. Just make sure that you stay on top of it, and the best way to do that, obviously, is just to contact us, and we will let you know.
Or tune in here every week.
That's true. I mean, we are going to be following this, and I suspect that it'll change again. Because what happens is every time something is announced, then it gets litigated. Then the courts weigh in. Then Lawyers. They adjust it. I mean, it's just an ongoing legal battle.
Yes.
And it probably will be at least until after the election. Hopefully things will settle down after that. Right.
Okay.
So let's talk public charge.
My favorite topic, all right.
As
public
exciting
charge,
as the DACA stuff was.
It's so exciting, yeah. This is even more exciting, the public charge rule, right. The back and forth with the public charge rule. When we went on vacation, it was kind of like an emotional roller coaster. Yeah. Yay, we don't have to submit the 944. And then, oh, shoot, we have to submit the 944. Oh, no, actually, that's not true. We don't have to submit the 944 in these particular jurisdictions. So suffice to say.
Suffice to say, yeah, no, it suffice.
Suffice to say,
this
and
you always want to joke.
You always want to add an "it" in there, but you don't. Suffice to say, the law firm of Gardner Mendoza is including right now the 944 in all green card application packages and any other application that is requiring it. Only to be on the safe side. We don't want to, put our clients in a situation where kind of midway through the game, the rule changes and their case gets rejected. And I know that when this first came out, when the 944 was not, you no longer had to file it. We filed a couple of cases without the 944, but the ones that we're filing now, because of such uncertainty, we are going to include the 944, the public charge rule. And again, that's going to add time onto a case because it's tough. It's so tough for our clients to get the documentation. So as John mentioned in the beginning, don't go by what we're saying. We have to evaluate your case to just make sure that, okay, this is the right thing to do with your case. Every case is different. Every case is different, even though, you may have an uncle, a brother, a sister, a mom who did this completely differently. It's every single case is different, and the time frames are different, and it's exactly the same case as what I meant to say. It's all different and different variables. So
right. And we have a belt and suspenders approach because as we said earlier, we want to get it right the first time.
Right. So just if you're unsure about that, reach out to us, and we'll help try to clarify it for you. And that 944, if you haven't seen it, is a beast of an application. And BJ, if he's still watching, he probably did not have to file that if he filed his case before February 24th. All right, so some really good news. I just saw that AILA's, American Immigration Lawyers Association Citizenship Day, is going to be held on Saturday, February 20th, 2021. So it's usually held in September, but they've pushed it to February. They did it last February as well. We weren't able to participate because we had just done it in September. So that is the day after my birthday. Our team, Gardner Mendoza, we are always on top of Citizenship Day. We will be there to organize. Not sure where it's going to be, whether it's going to be a virtual thing. We really have to kind of see how the winter season goes and how this is going to pan out. But we will be delivering Citizenship Day.
That's your birthday present, by the way.
Yeah.
Hope you like it.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe it's only in, let's see, September, October, November, December, January. It's only in 5 months.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a whole lot of time, but so for those of you who don't know what Citizenship Day is, it's when immigration professionals and paralegals and law students get together, and they're usually about 25 volunteers, and we've done it at St. Gregory the Great Church in years past, in the past 5 years that we've done it, and we've had multiple applicants. The last year we had 40, and we assist with the N400 application. So it's a really great thing that the community gets together and provides for those who need assistance with the N400 and can't necessarily pay for an attorney to assist. And we're super pumped up that we're going to do it. February 20th is the day after my birthday. You guys, did you guys mark that my birthday is on February 19th, so you can shoot me a message, right? We're just excited about it. Sent it out to the team. All of our team, they're all volunteering on that day. So we will keep you posted as to what Citizenship Day 2021 will look like. I can't believe I'm saying 2021, but hey, we're five months away from Citizenship Day, February 20th, 2021, and that's such a great day too. Maybe we should do something else on that day, like get remarried or something. Renew vows, or I don't know. That. Yeah, 2, 20, 21. You know I love numbers. All right. Last thing on the immigration end, and it has been a lot. See what happens when you miss a week? There's just a lot of updates, and
you go away for a week and everything.
I know, but I'm super pumped up to be here and doing the Facebook Live.
I'm very pumped.
There's a new version of the 765, which is the employment authorization document. It's now available at uscis.gov. And it's the latest version, dated 8/25/20, so posted on that website. And you cannot use any other versions of the 765. I point this out. Forum versions are constantly happening all the time, but the 765, which is the employment authorization document application, is very, very, very common, and it's what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants the work permit. Where's my permission to work? BJ's waiting for it himself. And so if you are going to file that with whatever application, whether it's adjustment or cancellation or whatever, you cannot use a version that's earlier than 8/25/2020. So make sure you use the right one or it's going to be rejected. You don't want that to happen. You don't want it to get in the mailroom and get rejected. It's going to get sent back to you with your filing fee, but it may come back to you like 3 or 4 months later and you have no idea what happened to it. So another thing that I just want to add to that, do not pay for a USCIS.gov form. Okay, there are websites out there and they are selling the forms. Do not pay for a USCIS form, please. Thank you. USCIS.gov. All the forms are on there. They're all PDF. They're all free. If you want to go down the self-filing road, sometimes it's okay. I don't recommend it, but I'm an immigration lawyer. What else am I going to say, right? All right. Do you want to end with your favorite topic?
Yes, my current favorite topic.
Current favorite, yeah.
The Virginia Driving Privilege Card. If you have not heard about this, please listen and tell anyone that you know who you think may benefit from this. This is a great new law. It's going to go into effect January 1st, 2021. And basically, it will allow folks to get a driving privilege card so they can drive legally in the Commonwealth of Virginia without showing any legal presence in the country or in the state. Okay, all you have to be able to show is that you can pass the test, that you have insurance, and that you have income from Virginia sources that you've reported on taxes in the previous year. Okay, so it's not exactly the same as a Virginia driver's license. It's a driving privilege card, but you do not have to show what your immigration status is in the United States. Okay, so this is a big deal for a lot of folks, but it's going to have, documentation like all these things that has to be put together. And so January 1st, 2021 is going to be here before you know it. So if you can benefit from this or you know somebody who can, please give us a call and we will give you more information about it. And if you need help you start getting everything together that you need so that you can be at the beginning of the front of the line.
Yes, and the number to call is 757-464-9224.
Right.
And you all can also shoot us an email at info@gmlaw.net. We really appreciate our Facebook Live folks.
Yeah.
Next week, we need to give something to the Facebook Live people because they're just out here. They're making us feel good that people are actually watching us, just boosting our ego up. No, in all seriousness though, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. And the last thing that I want to say is I just want to give a shout out to the teachers out there who are getting ready to start virtual school for the most part. And some teachers have started school in person. And we just really appreciate the teachers. I know you're going through a lot right now. We have many friends who are teachers. It's tough. And we really salute you guys and we respect you. I could go on and on about the teachers, but we really appreciate all that you're doing to make the environment safe, and it's a Zoom environment if it's virtual, to make it entertaining and engaging for our kids and others' kids as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Oh, and going back to Colorado, because that's where we started, because that's where we were last week. Also, thanks to our friends who live in Vail. They drove all the way from Vail to Crested Butte to have dinner with us. That's so sweet.
Was it 4-hour drive?
Yep.
Not just friends.
Yes.
Right? Not just friends. Really good friends. My friend from high school, and who also was a paralegal for us for 12 years?
Yes.
Dedicated. So we're no, I won't say anything. I won't say anything else about that. But anyway, yes, we're happy to be home. That we're safe. We had a safe trip. No one's coughing. We were all masked up on the airplane. And again, we appreciate you guys came back in full force tonight for Wednesday Facebook Live, and we truly appreciate it. And
if you have questions, let us know.
Yep.
If it's anything you think we may know the answer to, give us a shot and we will see what we can find out for you. Okay? Especially if it's law related, of course.
Absolutely. 2 thumbs up, guys. Thank you so
right.
much. Amazing time, as always.
Fun. See you guys next week. Thanks.
All right.
Take care.